everyone, John Ramking with you for FNNE. Robin Black and I will talk about some of the most interesting topics in mixed martial arts. Making news today, the UFC inks a welterweight tussle featuring a former BJJ champion, a former Olympian gets her next assignment, and a member of Team Alpha Male re-ups his contract with the big dogs. Jiu-Jitsu wizard Damian Maia will look to stop the momentum of surging American Neil Magny when the two lock horns at UFC 190. The event will feature the return of Ronda Rousey as she will try to defend her title against undefeated Brazilian Betts Correia. Also on the card, Big Nog collides with Stefan Struve, and Shogun faces Little Nog in a rematch from their days in Pride. The show will go down at the HSBC Arena in Rio, Brazil. Two top 135-pound female fighters meet when Brazilian bomber Amanda Nunes takes on former Olympian Sarah McMahon at UFC Fight Night 74 in Nashville. The silver medalist McMahon is coming off a majority decision loss against Miesha Tate, while her opponent Nunes rebounded from a TKO loss against Kat Zingano with a TKO win over Shayna Baszler. Former UFC featherweight title challenger Chad Mendes has signed a new 8-fight contract with the sport's biggest promotion. The alpha male standout thought about testing the free agent market, but he is happy with the new deal his management team netted. The 30-year-old has won 6 of his past 7, with 5 coming by KO or TKO. And don't forget to tune in to our preview show. It's all going down 7 p.m. Eastern as we get you set for the heavyweight contest between Cain Velasquez and Fabrizio Verdum. Following the pay-per-view, keep it locked to FN as we have our post-fight show as we break down all the fights from Mexico City. Joined by Robin Black, Chad Mendes, 8-fight deal, says, you know what, I was thinking about all my options because of the Reebok deal, trying to sort things out. You know, TJ Dillashaw got rid of his management. Joseph Benavidez got rid of his management, saying, you know what, with this Reebok deal, we don't need a manager. But Chad Mendes says, you know what, I'm going to trust my boys. They went out sniffing around Bellator and won championship, I'm sure. Came back to the UFC, and the UFC said, no, we need this guy. He looks good. He knocks guys out, and I wouldn't be surprised if he challenged for the 145-pound championship as long as Jose Aldo isn't the champion.
Yeah, hey, this is the best, still the best game in town. You know, oh man, we were making 40 in sponsorship per night. Now we're wearing a Reebok thing. We got free shoes, but we're only getting 5,000. That's a lot of money. But even with that, still the best game in town. So that's good to know. And you know that the guy...
As long as you're a big dog, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Or a small dog, because a brand new guy coming up now, they're only getting $500 in sponsorship, a brand new dude. If he was lucky, maybe a free pair of shin insteps.
But what does that mean, a brand new guy? Because you look at a fighter like Justin Gaethje, never fought in Strikeforce or the WEC or the UFC. He's a World Series of Fighting guy, but has such a huge following.
He's a hometown hero.
But are those guys around? We know Ryan Ford.
And Edmonton. There's a few of them, but there's not a lot of them. Local star, that's rare. It's rare in anything, you know. Is there a local star that's a punk rock band in Toronto? Yeah, maybe there is one. You know, there's a few of these guys, but ain't no kid who trains really hard and thanks his team and thanks God and all that important stuff. He makes $500 a night. So the bottom and the top will be taken care of. But I'm glad Chad Mendes is there. Hey, look, we do our best to try to offer something to the world of mixed martial arts. We work really hard and we don't ask for much. Can we please have Chad Mendes fight Frankie Edgar?
Please.
Can we please have that? That would be really cool.
And that's the thing, you know, when you look at these 8 fights of Chad Mendes, he has 2 fights, 1 fight left in his contract, so we basically have him for 10 fights. All the different matchups, because if Conor McGregor happens to beat Jose Aldo, the whole division is opened up. So you have matchups with Frankie Edgar and Conor. You probably have the rematch with Jose Aldo, depending on how things go down in July. You have Frankie Edgar, you have Chad Mendes. There's so many guys right now at 145 pounds that it would be good if Jose Aldo lost the title.
Of course, not for him, not
good for Jose.
All the worldwide fans.
However, you never know. Based on the stuff he's been saying about the UFC and this Reebok deal, maybe it is good for Jose.
Maybe. But yeah, please, can we just have that fight? And both of those guys, Mendes and Frankie, they should be fighting Jose Aldo again. They just should eventually. Here's the thing. Jose Aldo is a dominant super champion. He's a pound for pound great. He's an elite of the elite. But even though he's young, his body has taken a lot. His body's taken a lot. He seems like he's had enough in a certain respect. The same way that George, it was time for him to go. The same way that Anderson Silva, before he lost those fights, he was talking about not being there long. These guys can only stay the wolf on the top of the hill for so long until they're either sick of it or they're exhausted about being chased like that. Jose Aldo is ready to be taken. Now, he still is one of the greats of the greats, but he's ready to be taken. Conor McGregor can beat him. He can, but I don't know if Conor McGregor can beat Frankie and Chad Mendes. Right. And so to your point, the whole thing is about to go crazy at 145.
Now, what about the idea of, let's just say Jose Aldo does lose to Conor McGregor because he's been at the top of the mountain for so long. Would this be good for Joe? Oh, right. I have to feel hungry again. Somebody knocks me off my pedestal, and then we see a different, more improved, more aggressive Jose Aldo.
Yeah, it's certainly possible. But he was also a kid who lived in the gym, that trained all day long, and every few days his coaches and teammates would be like, "Did you eat, Jose? Here's some food." That's who this guy was. He came out of nowhere. He came out of nowhere with that desperate desire to win at all costs, to make his life something great. And he has done that, and he's done it many times over. He should be proud. Brazilians should be proud. MMA fans should be proud. Everybody should. But even these super greats can only stay there for so long. We've seen it through every champion that has ever lived. There's a point at which either their bodies or their minds or their patience or they're just wanting a life. George St. Pierre looks happy right now out. He's having a beer. He gained a couple of pounds. That guy looks like he's living the life. And Jose Aldo deserves to do that at some point. And usually the way that happens is some young, hungry psychopath like Conor McGregor comes along and takes it when we all think that he can't, and he can.
Ryan Ford says that, we referenced him before, calling it quits from mixed martial arts, too rigorous, just too demanding on his body. Has decided to switch focus into the world of professional boxing. You think this is a good move?
I think, again, he's a local hero in Edmonton, and he's kind of a national attraction in Canada, and a good dude and a hard worker. And, you know, the life of being a star in a small city, you got to be on every show. You got to hustle to make that $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 that some of these local stars, big attractions in towns can make. But it's a hard grind. And you never, although you are celebrated at home, you never get that national spotlight that you know secretly that you deserve. So I hope he gets that in boxing. I hope the guy gets to keep doing it. If you haven't seen Ryan Ford fight, go find him.
One of the most exciting fighters in Canada. That is it for us. Don't change the channel. More Fight News Now Extra is still coming your way.